we have the current stock market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 2-hour price chart. It's a little bit of an unconventional price chart, but there are some signals here that I wanted to show on this time frame. So it should be kept in mind that each candle on this time frame represents a 2-hour trading period. It's a little bit unconventional. But what we're starting to see here overall in the prior video, what I mentioned was a potential support zone that could form right around $21 per share. I don't like to focus on those kind of big round numbers, psychological figures, and things like that. But this $21 level really did come into contact with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement zone that can be found using the prior price rally that extended from 1943 to 2364. So essentially what you're looking at is this price movement here. And as we can see, share prices have actually managed to find some support right in that area. So this support line was drawn previously, and now we're just sort of seeing how things played out here. And if we zoom in here, we didn't test it exactly, but this ultimate price low came in right around 10 cents above that price level. So we are starting to see a bit of a bounce here that is encouraging. But the real question at this point is whether or not there's going to be significant follow through here to the top side. Some factors that I would be watching at this point really can be seen with this exponential moving average cluster and this region of historical resistance that is being based on prior levels of historical support. So that might be a little bit confusing here. But what we're really looking at is the fact that share prices did manage to maintain some support right around 2190 previously before breaking through this area. And then once that does happen, in most cases, what you would then expect would be for share prices to start to find resistance in that same region. Essentially, buy orders turn into sell orders, positions get stopped out. Positions really reverse themselves when you start to see breaks of support and resistance like this. So this would be the reason that you would start to expect to see some resistance moving into that area once again. So in my opinion, what would really need to happen here would be for share prices to break back above at least 22. And really what you would want to see is for share prices to break above 22.15, because that's really what would then get you back above the entire exponential moving average cluster, as well as that region of historical resistance. So, as we can see here, it's starting to look a bit heavy into the closing parts of this trading session. And what we have to remember here is that it's the Friday close, so the daily close today is also the weekly close. So if we do see share prices fail to overcome that $22 level once again, the real question at that point becomes whether or not share prices are going to be able to maintain the support zone right around $21 per share. We did see an initial bounce from here. That is encouraging. But if you start to see sort of a weak bounce and then a retest of that level again, it becomes a little bit harder to believe that level is going to be holding up in the future. So one thing that I do want to point out to people, we do also need to take a look at the indicator reading on this time frame here. But one thing that I do want to point out to people is that there's a lot going on in the GameStop price chart at the moment, and I do suggest that people take a look at that video, even if you're not long that stock. I understand there are differences here, and not everybody that's trading GameStop is necessarily trading AMC as well. But these two stocks do tend to be heavily correlated with one another. They're not 100% correlated, but positive days for one are typically resulting in positive days for the other. I mean, that is typically how things work. And AMC is currently breaking through some very important long-term support zones right now. I mean, that's not exactly happening for GameStop at the moment. We do have some distance here before we can start to, expect that to occur, or forecast that type of price movement lower. But, the question at this point is going to be whether or not AMC is leading the pack, or if GameStop is leading the pack. Because if it's AMC, there could be some significant price movements here lower to the downside for GME as well. I really don't expect AMC to be holding up here very much longer. I think that I think that a lot of people are going to start throwing in the towel on that stock trade here relatively soon, because once you start to break, right now we're breaking through 430. There's a little bit of support below there at 410. But from there, you're looking at sub $3 levels at that point. So, the real question is how much is the market going to continue to correlate these two stocks? I think it's a bit ridiculous to suggest that one of these stocks is going to fail and the other one is going to succeed. I mean, it's just hard for me to believe that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just hard for me to believe, because I do think that if one of them starts to fail, I think people holding the other stock are going to start to question their positions and possibly exit those trades. So just quickly here, just to close out this video, I will point out the indicator reading that is developing on this 2-hour price chart, because it does match up fairly closely with that $21 support zone. So as we can see here, the relative strength index reading has found some upward momentum, and we are seeing bounces off of this trend line in the upward direction. So that is encouraging here, because the relative strength index also broke above its own exponential moving average. So those are two bullish signals. And then in addition to that, you have that working in conjunction with this price bounce off of support at $21. The question, so all of those things worked out as expected, but the question here is, how sustainable is that actually going to be? I mean, are we going to see this continue to move higher? I mean, if we do see share price failures here near term in GameStop, there's a major risk here for this momentum trend line to start to break to the downside. And that would be a very telling moment, because this is the momentum trend that did start to establish itself when share prices were forming those longer term lows or declines at $19.88. So all of this upward price movement here, that this is even that move into $25. It's all represented in this momentum reading here. So if that starts to break, that's a fairly significant momentum trend that has now completed itself and would no longer be expected to support share prices. That doesn't mean that you can't have a new trend in the future that's in the positive direction, but it would suggest that this current trend is coming to an end, and it is a very significant price trend if you're along the stock. So this is important to watch these levels going forward. Here's the current market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.